Hey. Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at _ring bells on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Y'all, as you can tell by the title, we are back with another story time. This is the part 2 to the She Left Me Stranded in Arizona. So you know I'm gonna give y'all the recap. Now y'all gotta tell me, how are y'all liking the true crime? I believe I posted that a few days ago. So I don't even know how y'all doing it because I'm literally recording this right after I just recorded that. So hopefully y'all enjoying it. Now, y'all, we're just going to jump right into today's video. Okay, so y'all, you already know, gotta get y'all the background, gotta set the scene. So y'all know this is a part 2, so I'm gonna just give y'all the recap and then we'll jump into what happened next. So y'all remember, you know, me and Tasha, we ended up going out, we met some girls at the club, and Crazy was pretty much blowing both of our phones up on Snapchat, texting us, basically trying to tell us we had a curfew, telling us that we needed to get home, just being annoying. And like I said, Tasha started feeling uneasy because she was just like, okay, you got my child and you're acting neurotic, like you're acting like you're having a manic episode. So yeah, so now we're just going to jump right in. We're still at the first club, we're still at the bar with them and just having a good time, and they telling us to get off our phones and ignore Crazy. So y'all, we still in there at this point. Like I said, I believe the place closed at like 2. We was like, it was maybe like 30 minutes or so before it closed. Y'all, I was weighty. So like I told y'all, I had knew my limit. I had cut myself off basically. So at that point, I'm asking Tasha, you know, I'm like, what you want to do? You know, you ready to go home? She's like, I'm not ready to go home. Like, it's still early. It was 2, but I get what she was saying. So she was like, it's still early. I'm like, so what you want to do? So the other girls like, what y'all doing? Like right in the midst of us saying that, they're like, what y'all doing after this? So we like, oh, well, we don't know. Like, what y'all doing? So they like, we going to this little after hour spot. It's like 10 minutes away. Y'all want to go? Like, I'm going to drive. So at first I'm like, my God, girl, I don't know you to be getting in your car, let alone you drunk. She was like, it's literally right there. Like, it's right there. Like, it's right there. So I'm looking at Tasha, and like I told y'all, y'all already know, young, dumb, and I used to just be doing stuff. So I'm looking at Tasha like, yeah, fuck it, like, yeah, come on, like, let's go. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I tell them, I'm like, yeah, y'all, like, we could all go. So they're like, okay. So y'all, we enjoying the rest of the night. Surprisingly enough, Crazy had kind of left us alone after Tasha kind of snapped on her. I was like, do you need me to come get my kid? Like, because what are you doing? And Crazy just responded back to her. I was like, no, she's asleep. Like, don't bother her. Like, she's fine, but you're bothering us. You're bothering us. Go do something else. So fast forward, y'all. It's now like 2 in the morning. Club's closing. Y'all know lights come on. Y'all know how it go. So everybody's clearing out. The streets is packed. Y'all know how it be out after a let out. So the streets is covered, packed. College kids, cars, beeping, Ubers, everything. We have to walk a little bit ways down. The girl ain't parked like really far, and I didn't give them names because it was just a group of 3 of them. They weren't really super significant to the story outside of us just meeting them and having a good time. So we go to you know, we walk into her car, y'all. We laughing, we talking. Next thing you know, I feel like my phone is ringing. So I'm like, is that my phone? But y'all know how you be drunk and you like, is that my phone? But then I feel like if I pull my phone out, I might drop it or somebody might snatch it, or I'm just being paranoid. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna take my phone out. If it is ringing, it is what it is. So I left it there. Next thing you know, Tasha's phone's ringing. She was like, oh my God, she's getting on my nerves. Oh my God, she's getting on my nerves. So one of the girls from the girl group turned around and she was like, who's getting on your nerves? Looking around. And I'm like, oh, y'all those types. So she was like, oh, no, girl, not like that. And she was like, nah, I left my daughter with, you know, somebody, and the girl is just doing too much. She was like, you left your daughter with somebody that's doing too much? We like, long story. So they're like, we laughing and talking or whatever, y'all. We get to the car and we get in, and y'all, was Sexy Red literally hanging out the window, just having a good time, y'all. I was so drunk. I was so drunk, y'all. We leave and we pull up to the after hour spot. Now the after hour spot, y'all, packed. Like you could barely get down the street. People just outside. You would think that it was a line. Y'all, whole time it was like no line. I don't think this place literally closed until like 5, 6 in the morning. And like I said, at this point it was literally like 2:10, 2:15. So we pull up, people just blasting music, car doors open, y'all, the lights, headlights on. It was just a time, like we was having fun, and it was like a mixed crowd. It wasn't too much of one, you know, whatever, one group of people. It was a mix. So I was like, yeah, let's get out, like let's go inside. So at first Tasha was like, girl, I look a little rinky dink over there. So the one girl was like, girl, we come here all the time. So she's looking for a parking spot or whatever, y'all, right? So while we in the car, my phone starts ringing again. So I finally pulled my phone out because I was not looking at it this whole time. Because back in the day, I used to pull my phone out, you know, and have fun, but I felt like I enjoyed the moment a little bit more. And like now, as I'm getting older, I feel like I do that more now too. Like I want to enjoy the moment more. So I start noticing I don't have a lot of memories when I be recording stuff sometimes, but not really like I did back in the day. So I finally put my phone out. I'm like, oh my God, y'all, why did I have 6 missed calls from this girl? You would have thought somebody broke in and kidnapped them damn kids. Like, what is going on? So I call her back thinking it's emergency, and y'all know how it be, you drunk. I'm like, hello? She's like, oh, why y'all not answer the phone? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? The place closed at 2. Are y'all on y'all way back? So we like, oh, nah, we went to this after hour spot. We met some girls, and we in a car now. She looking for parking. We about to go inside. So she's like, what? What? I'm like, why are you yelling? So I put her on speaker, right? So, y'all, everybody in the background, obviously, we're all in the car. They laughing, we talking. You hear people outside, everything. I don't even know why I answered the phone for her. So, y'all, I put her on speaker. So Tasha's sitting right next to me. So she's like, hello, hello. So Tasha's like, girl, what's wrong, crazy? Like, what's wrong? She was like, why didn't y'all tell me that y'all was going back out? Y'all could have just gave me the heads up. Y'all don't even know those girls. Mind you, she's on speaker. Y'all don't even know those girls. They could kidnap y'all. Y'all know the border is right there. They could take y'all across the border. They could set y'all up. They could do. And she's right. They could. But again, that's not the type of vibe that it was. I'm pretty sure y'all go out with people. Y'all have fun. Y'all meet girls while y'all out on the town. And if you're not by yourself and you're with somebody else, she got my back, I got her back, and I was very still coherent as to what was going on. Like, I can still remember what that place looked like all of these years later. So I was drunk, but I was cool. You get what I'm saying? So she's just on the phone going off, and she's like, no, y'all didn't tell me where y'all was going. And so Tasha snaps on. She's like, you're not my mom. You're not my mom.
You're not my dad. You also hear something. Ugly ass fucking.
Like, I don't have to tell you anything, girl. Like, I don't have to tell you what I got going on. Your job was to babysit my child. She is asleep. We are out. When we come back, we'll get back. Like, we'll be there when we get there. But you need to leave us alone. Like, this is OD. Like, what's wrong with you? Because if it was for all of that, like, we could have just stayed at home. Like, we could have all just went to my house, or we could have just had a girls' night in. We asked you if you wanted to do that. You said, no, y'all want to go out. This is what Ayanna came out here for. So what are you mad about? Why are you doing all of this? So at that point, Shorty finally found a parking spot. So she was like, okay, y'all ready? We like, yeah. So she's like, oh my God, when are y'all coming back? When are y'all coming back? Y'all, all I remember is I was like, doo. Don't know if I hung up. Don't know if she hung up. I remember I was off the phone though. And yo, they was like, well, who is that? So now Tasha's giving them like the overview of like everything of like who she is and how, you know, they got the same baby dad and that's my brother. And they're like, oh, y'all need to be on like the Maury show. Y'all need to be on Jerry Springer. Because y'all, it was always something. Like, I swear to God, it was always something. I was sitting there to the point, like, at certain points on that trip, like, I wish me and Ginger didn't fall out. So me and her would have been in Vegas, just me and her. I know we locked in, and I would have just had a good time. So, yeah, but everything happens for a reason, right? So, y'all, we get out the car. We walking up to this spot. Like I said, everybody's outside, and you would think that it was a line, but it was no line. Like, we was able to stand there for, like, 5 minutes. They checked our bags, checked us and stuff. Y'all, we walk in. It's packed. It was more packed than the other place. And I showed y'all that video. More packed, like standing room pretty much only. Pretty much wiggle room only. And I didn't care. Like, it was fun. So you had like drag dancers and stuff up on the counter and like crazy costumes dancing, y'all. And I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to drink again. So, of course, y'all, it was no, like I said, no tables and stuff. Everything was like packed, so we was just gonna have to stand, but we were still able to get to the bar. We got some drinks. We had got like, I forget what we got a round of shots of, but because it wasn't tequila back then, I don't think I was drinking tequila. I don't know what the hell we was drinking, but we got a round of shots or whatever, y'all. We take these shots. That was what really put me down, and I was like, all right, yep, I'm cool, like I'm done. So we standing around or whatever. I'm leaning on a table and stuff, and Tasha's asking me, she was like, so what you want to do? Like, she was like, I'm sitting here pricing Ubers and stuff, girl. And I'm like, well, how much are the Ubers, y'all? Why them Ubers was like $80 to drive us like 25 minutes? $80 for 25 minutes. But granted, it's the area, it's the demand. I get it. It was late, it's real early. It's not probably that many drivers out at that point. But I'm like, dang. I was like, you know what? For all of this, I'm like, crazy, probably still up. Can't she just come get us? So Tasha's like, you right. I'm going to ask her. So I guess she ended up texting Crazy and was like, hey, girl, you think you could just come get us? She was like, I'll be there in like 10, 15 minutes. I know exactly where y'all at. We like, well, we not ready to leave right now. She was like, well, I'll just park outside. So Tasha's like, okay. So I'm like, what she said? So she's like, oh, she said she's gonna be here in 10, 15 minutes, but I told her we're not ready to go, so she's just gonna sit and park out front. Okay, but then at that point, I'm like, is she leaving the girls in the house? And she was like, well, I hope not. I would assume like she wouldn't. Look at the area she live in and blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. So y'all, we still going on with our night. Like I said, we meeting people, you know, getting numbers. I'm just having the time. I'm just out here visiting. I'm just out here visiting. And yeah, so fast forward, we there for maybe like another like half hour. At this point, Crazy is outside. And she's blowing Tasha's phone up. I guess she wasn't blowing my phone up like that, y'all, because I was just not answering her. Tasha, like I said, I felt like had to because she had the baby. So she felt like in her spirit, she always would have to be available. So she finally answers her. And she's like, I'm outside. Y'all ready? And she was like, I told you we wasn't ready to go yet, girl. Like, she was like, this place don't close till 5, y'all. At this point, y'all, it was like 2:45. 2:45 pushing 3 o'clock. Like, we was just not ready to go yet. So she was like, well, I'm just gonna wait here. The girls are in the back seat sleep. And they cold. They not gonna wait for too long. Why would you come? Like, why? All she asked you is, would you come? Why would you stop everything you're doing? Wake those girls up, make them get dressed, and come. Now, granted, like I said, Shorty could have drove us back, but I didn't trust her driving, let alone 10 minutes, let alone 25 minutes. And we're still drinking even more. I was like, yeah, no. And then on top of that, Crazy was crazy. But she did have a point about the border being like right there. And you know, you don't know people all the time. So yeah, so she's like, oh, I'm outside. Well, I'm just waiting here. The girls are cool and da da da. So I'm like, well, I'm not leaving yet. So Tasha's like, well, you can wait. Like, we told you we're not leaving yet. She starts going off. That's crazy. Y'all crying on the phone, screaming. You can literally hear her daughter like, mommy, are you okay? Mommy, are you okay? Blowing my shit, y'all. Like, she's like, this is ridiculous. This is so inconsiderate. She didn't spend no time with me this entire, like, having a breakdown. Ayanna didn't spend no time with me while she was out here. Y'all completely left me out. Y'all left me here to be a damn babysitter. Now I'm out here to come get y'all to do y'all a favor and give y'all, let me stop talking like that. But like, I came out here to do y'all a favor. I came out here to give y'all a ride so y'all didn't have to say spend no money. I was the one that got the liquor and stuff for y'all. Whole time we was already pre-gaming a little bit at said that girl name. Boop. We was already chilling at Tasha's house and drinking over there before we even ended up going to Crazy's house, before she had her weird concoctions of colorful mixed drinks on the damn counter, y'all. So I'm like, well, I don't care. Like, it is what it is. I'm not leaving. So she's steady going off. So y'all, Tasha just hung up on her. She continued to blow my phone up. She continued to blow Tasha's phone up. Y'all, another about 40 or so minutes went by. I hadn't drinking anymore, but I was just vibing in there, dancing, throwing a little ass. Y'all know, I was just having a time. So at that point, I was like, okay, she really still is outside. Like, we could go. Y'all, as we are about to head out, why Shorty walking in like she our mom? Y'all, why was Crazy walking into this place like she was our mom? When I tell y'all, headscarf on, keys in hand, but you by yourself. You left those sleeping girls in your damn car outside at 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, y'all, she comes inside like, I've been outside waiting to the point, y'all, where it's like, again, y'all know you can hear a record scratch and the DJ and stuff. He didn't really like cancel the music, but if you were close enough in distance, you know, you could peep. So the girls we were with were looking at her like, who the hell? So she's like, I've been outside waiting for y'all. What are you doing? Like, yeah, this is mad inconsiderate. Y'all just keep hanging up on me. Y'all just keep ignoring me. So I'm sitting there looking at her like she's crazy. Because who are you talking to? Not you trying to walk in here and embarrass me like you're literally my mom. Like, she's acting like my mom this whole night. My mom is back on the East Coast. So Tasha's looking at her like, girl, where's my daughter? Right. She's like, where's my daughter? She's like, well, I left both of them in the car. So Tasha literally, y'all, like, pushes past her and she starts speed walking. So I get up, I tell the girls, like, you know, bye, y'all, da da da. So y'all, at the point when we was at the first bar and we was in the car, we was already exchanging social medias and stuff. So like I told y'all, I still follow them to this day. Some of them, well, I believe I follow 2 of them to this day, still on Instagram and stuff, on Twitter. So we exchange, you know, stuff. And I was just like, see y'all later. So they like, yeah, just text us, let us know what happened. So I'm like, okay. So I'm following Tasha out. So now Crazy is bringing up the rear, trying to storm behind me, steady talking shit. Y'all steady talking shit. Like, yeah, and you came out here and you're not even being responsible. If your brother knew what you was doing, you probably was in there talking to a whole bunch of niggas. You probably was in there y'all, so as we walk to the car, she's literally yelling at me from behind like she's my mom. So y'all, I kindly just turned around and looked at her. And she's like, what? Like, what's your problem? Like, what you have a problem? I said, crazy, what's wrong with you? But at the same time, I'm drunk, y'all, so I'm laughing at her. And I'm like, what's like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you cool? Ho, is you cool?
Baby, don't play with me, baby, because I get active for real.
Because what's the issue? So at this point, Tasha's like walking to her car and she parked like, y'all, people are still outside. People are still outside. It wasn't quiet, y'all. People still outside playing music. You left these girls in the car. Hazards on. Car on. Crazy was really not too wrapped in the head, y'all. Like, I really do be trying to give them names that fit the characters, because what in your mind, y'all, we get to this car, the girls are up now and they're looking in the window. My niece is crying, and like I told y'all, my niece at this time was like 5. She's like maybe 5 pushing 6. She was crying. If y'all hear my stomach, I'm sorry, I'm a little hungry and I'm recording this a little late. But yeah, so my niece is crying. So Tasha gets in the car and she's like, oh my gosh. So she gets in the back seat. I got in the front seat. Tasha gets in the back seat and she's holding my niece, like, consoling. She's like, what happened? Like, she was just left us. A man was knocking on the window. Y'all, so why crazy gonna get in the car, slam her door, talking about something? Oh, stop that lying. Stop that lying. I was only in there for like 30 seconds. Ain't nobody come and knock on his door. Ain't nobody come and knock on his door. So Tasha looks at her and was like, yo, Tasha snapped on her. Tasha was like, bitch, if my daughter said somebody was knocking on the window, my daughter has no reason to lie. Why would your stupid ass leave 2 young girls in a car on with lights on, and they're up now, so they're peering out the window? So yeah, a lot of these creepy old drunk men are looking at these 2 young pubescent little girls in a backseat of a car. Somebody could have jumped in that car and sped off, y'all. Like, I just did not know what was wrong with her. You wanted us to come out that bad. You wanted to mother us so bad. Why are you trying to mother 2 grown-ass women when you got 2 kids that you're supposed to be watching and mothering? You coming into a grown club to get 2 grown-ass adults to embarrass us like children, and you left the actual children in the car? So she's cursing her out, going off on her. So crazy at this point, y'all, is trying to pull off. Tasha is still screaming at her. But like, my niece is calmed down or whatever. So I'm like, Tasha, like, let it go. She was like, no, because what's wrong with you? She was like, I'm trying to drive. Like, and she's trying to put it all in gear, trying to do all of this, y'all. Tasha is like, y'all, linked up, because like the way it was, like, she's in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger seat. Right behind Crazy was her daughter. I was in the middle, and then my niece was on the side. And when Tasha got in, she was consoling her right here. So she's leaning like through the middle at the driver's seat, like, yeah, like in her ear, like, yeah, and you been blowing my shit the whole night. You been harassing us the whole night. Like, if you didn't want to do this, you talking about Ayanna came out here and blah 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 blah. She's like, y'all, immediately Crazy completely changed her whole tune. Just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like, boom. She was like,
I wasn't even that mad that you guys went out. I just felt like you guys could have been a little bit more considerate of the time.
Real creepy, like, so to the point where, like, y'all, it was so creepy that I'm looking like you was just cursing us out like literally 10 minutes ago. What is going on? So at this point, Tasha just sat back and she was just not quiet. She was like, just get me home. Just get me back to your house so I can get my car, so I can take my daughter and go home. I'm tired of you. Like, this is some weird shit, da 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 da, all this other stuff. So, and granted, y'all, Tasha had a right to be mad, because she had a right to be mad. Our drunkenness was going, because anything could have happened. So we get back to the house or whatever, and Crazy, I'm thinking she was gonna let it go, y'all. We get back to the house, and we ain't even go inside. So as we're getting out and we're about to get my niece, I pick my niece up, I'm holding her, she's grabbing our bags and stuff, and she goes inside. Well, Tasha went inside the apartment to get the rest of my niece's stuff. So at this point, like, I'm standing by the door, and while Tasha goes inside, she's not speaking to Crazy. Crazy and her daughter go inside in that bare ass apartment with nothing in there. And she's like, y'all might as well stay. Y'all been drinking. You're angry. You might as well stay. I don't know, y'all, why. And some of y'all commented, like, y'all facial expressions y'all said when she said, when we was at the restaurant, she said, why don't you stay with me? Y'all, I don't know why this girl was so pressed for us to stay over there. I don't know if she was trying to line us, if she was trying to set us up, if she was going to have somebody kick that door in. I don't know, but I would never trust to close my eyes around that girl. Like, I just didn't. Like, I just didn't. So she was like, y'all lit, y'all might as well just stay. And I'm like, girl, no, like, it's cool, like, we'll be fine. Like, it's literally like a 15-minute ride. If that, ain't nobody out here, lights hopefully all green, and we'll be good to go. So she was like, no, y'all really need to stay. So at this point, Tasha was like, you're not gonna keep telling me what to do. You're not gonna keep telling me what to do. And y'all, mind you, Crazy was the oldest of my brother's baby moms, and Tasha was the youngest. Ginger, actually, no, I'm lying. Baby mom number 4, we never gave her a name. She was the oldest. Then you had Crazy. Then you had my sister Ginger. And then you have Tasha all the way at the bottom. Tasha, like I told y'all, was only like, I'm 28 now. Like I said, Tasha might be like 32 now. She was very young back then. So if I was like 21, 22, she was only like 24, 25. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, you're about to stop talking to me like you're my mom. Like, my mom is back in Utah. Ayanna's mom is back in Jersey. You don't need to be talking to us like this. Like, you were completely irresponsible tonight. Like, you're never watching my child again. I don't care about none of that. So Crazy's like, it's cool, it's cool. So she was like, Ayanna, you gonna stay? Me? Am I gonna stay? Hell no, I'm not staying here, girl. I'm leaving. All my stuff is back at Tasha's house. So I was like, no, girl, I'm out. So she was like, oh, that's cool. She was like, well, what y'all doing tomorrow? Because like I told y'all, I had one more day and then I was leaving the next day. So I'm like, well, I don't know, girl. Like, I'm just tired. We ready to just go lay down. And Tasha's like, girl, we won't be seeing you. She was like, if Ayanna want to see you, you could come get her, but you're not coming to my house. Like, she was just going off on her. So Crazy, y'all, is trying to act so calm. And if Crazy, y'all, felt like she was in the right, she wouldn't have been letting Tasha talk to her like this. But the fact that you know that you was on some bullshit, she was just taking it like she wasn't saying nothing. I'm surprised Tasha didn't swing on her. She probably would have if she wasn't in front of the girls, because I would have. Like, listen. So we get the rest of our stuff and we leave. She didn't, like, she pretty much just closed the door behind us. We get in the car, put the baby in the car, and we in there. So before she pulls off, Tasha's like taking a deep breath, and I'm like, you cool? Like, you good? She was like, what is wrong with her? Like, why would she do that? Like, my bad, y'all. So she was, because y'all know I got, like, y'all that don't know, I have a second piercing here, so it just be bothering me sometimes. I'm ready to take it out. But anyway, so she just taking a deep breath, and she was like, Ayanna, like, why would she do that? Why would she do that? Like, people she babysat all the time. And she said, this is what's getting on my nerves, is that this is not new to Crazy. Like, she's used to babysitting. She usually has my daughter. Like, if I'm too, if I can't get her to daycare in the morning, Crazy will come get her and literally take her to daycare for me. So for you to be out here and for her to be acting this crazy, she said, this is why I told you, and when we first got out here, that I do think she purposely sabotaged you in Ginger's thing, because look what you're doing now. Like, you're just being weird. And Tasha was just frustrated because she was like, I didn't know why. So y'all, fast forward, we get back to the house. We go inside, put the baby to bed, and she go in her room, pass out. I go on the couch, pass out. Wake up the next morning. It's Sunday. We get up, the baby still asleep, and me and her making breakfast. We making mimosas. We just having a good time. Now, Crazy didn't hit Tasha up, so she hit me up, and she was like, oh, what are you doing today? Do you want to go, I forgot where she said she wanted to go. She was like, do you want to go shopping? I was like, shopping where? And she was like, well, I don't know. She was like, I'm not really sure. Like, I don't really have money like that, but I just wanted to get out. And I just was like, and now y'all could judge me if y'all want to. Y'all could be like, oh, you could have still went with her even if she was broke, or she would have been trying to get me to buy stuff. And before y'all get in the comments and be quick to try to read me talking about, oh, you could have just went shopping with her. If you watched part 1 and I said how Crazy was a user and abuser, you will see why I was not about to take her and her daughter shopping, because I would have been spending all of the money. Like, I don't know. So I was like, you know, it's my last day. I'm really trying to chill. I'm not really trying to do too much or whatever. The mall's probably be packed or whatever. So she was just like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, but we'll let you know, like, you know, what you want to do. So she was like, okay. Tasha was like, I don't know what you telling her that for. You can go link with her if you want to. She's like, she can't come over here and I don't want to hang out with her. I was like, come on, Tasha, it's the last night. And y'all, I did feel bad. So I'm like, I do get, like, I understand, like, what she did was, like, completely insane and crazy. But, you know, whatever. So fast forward, y'all, me and Tasha talking about, you know, what we want to do for the day. So she was like, oh, I know this soul food spot that her and my brother had went to, I guess, when he had came to Arizona to visit them and see the kids or whatever. So she's like, oh, it's this spot that your brother had put me on to, is downtown Phoenix. You know, you want to go, like, we meet you and the baby, like, we could ride out there. So I'm like, so you're not going to invite Crazy? She was like, Ayanna, I told you, if you want to link her, you're more than welcome to, but I'm cool off it. So y'all, I hit up Crazy and I was like, oh, well, we're gonna go to this soul food spot. You know, if you want, you could probably come down here and we could just sit by the pool. Tasha probably won't come to the pool, but me and you could sit over there if you want. And she was just like, oh no, you know, it's fine. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. I'm just gonna spend the day with my daughter and take her out shopping and stuff. So I was just like, okay. So me, my niece, and Tasha, y'all, we go through the next few hours. We get ready. Boom. We head down to Phoenix. We go to this soul food spot. And we just chilling. We on Snapchat. Y'all, she's the first one watching the Snapchats. It was like a flip will always switch with her. Like, you literally just said, it's okay to go. Like, I'm not worried about it. Said it super calmly. Super calmly. And now that you see us on Snapchat and we showing where we're at and we're showing the food and stuff, now she's like, oh, y'all fake. Y'all definitely could have invited me. It was giving, what's the story I did, y'all, with Mia and the whole birthday thing and the entitlement. That's what she was doing. And I'm like, how are you going to try to gaslight me and try to manipulate me into feeling bad when I invited you? I asked you, and I didn't invite you to this because Tasha said no, but I did invite you to see you later. So for you to say, oh, y'all fake, how are we fake? Like, you just completely forgot what you just did with the kids last night. Like, come on. So I didn't care. We was already out. We was eating. We ended up leaving there. We ended up going shopping. We did not post that part though. So we ended up going shopping or whatever. Got my niece some sneakers and stuff. And boom, we head back to the house. Now, y'all, at this point, it's already like evening time. It's probably around like 4 or 5 o'clock at this point. Now, someone's still up because, like I said, it was summertime. So I ended up hitting up Crazy. She not responding. So I'm like, okay. The pool closed, I think, at like 10. So I'm like, all right, y'all, time is going by. At this point, it's like 8 o'clock. Still no word from her. So Tasha's like, I don't care. Like, I haven't heard from her, and I don't plan on reaching out to her. I don't care. So I was like, okay, she just on her own thing. So I'm like, all right, well, hit her up. She not responding. Y'all, around like 8:45, this girl finally hits me up and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, we were out having so much fun and I wasn't really paying attention to my phone. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Some weird shit like that. So I was just like, oh, okay. I was just asking if you wanted to come over and go to the pool or whatever because, you know, it don't make no sense now because it's dark now and it closes at 10. So, you know, never mind. You know, I'm glad y'all had fun though. Like, I wasn't trying to be funny. I was like, okay, I'm glad y'all had fun. I was like, yeah, we enjoyed our day too. And she was like, yeah, I bet. And I was just like, okay. I put question marks. So she was just like, never mind. So I was like, are you still taking me to the airport tomorrow? Now, y'all, my flight left at like 2 p.m. And Tasha wasn't going to be able to take me to the airport because she had just started this job and she was already taking too much time off back and forth because I was visiting and she wanted to spend some time with me. But that Monday, her ass needed to be at work and she had to get up, take the baby to daycare, and then she had to go to work. So, and she already was going to be a little late to work because she had to drop the baby off first because the situation went crazy. So, yeah. So, I'm like, are you still going to take me to the airport tomorrow and come and get me? So she was like, yeah, girl, what time is your flight again? So I told her it's at 2. So I was like, it's at 2, but I wanted to get there at least by like 12:30. And y'all, the airport was a cool like 30, 40 minutes away. So I'm like, you know, I need to get there at least by like 12:40 for real, which means we need to be leaving out of here. Like, you need to be here by like 11:50, 12 o'clock, you know, 11:45. So she was like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. Like, I'll hit you in the morning. I'm like, okay. Y'all, rest of the night goes on. Me and Tasha, we in there chilling. We put the baby to bed early. We was in there sipping wine, having a good time, you know, just hanging out. And, you know, she ended up going to bed. I went to sleep. I stayed up. Actually, no, I stayed up a little bit. I called my parents and I was just giving them the rundown of everything. And my dad is like, you know, she's taking you to the airport tomorrow, right? I'm like, yeah, she's taking me to the airport. You know, I you know, confirmed it with her a few hours ago. So my dad's like, okay, you know, let us know, you know, how everything goes. You know, we should have your gate number and all of that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, pack up. I go to bed. Next morning, wake up. I say my goodbyes to Tasha and my niece because they were leaving out in the morning. And by the time they got home, I was already going to be on my way back to, you know, back home. So, y'all, I wake up. I made myself something to eat. It was like maybe 9 o'clock, right? I hit up Crazy. I just said, good morning, girl. No response. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe she's asleep, right? So maybe like 10 o'clock now. And mind y'all, I told y'all I needed to be at the airport by 12:40, which means I needed to be leaving by like 11:45. It's now like 10 o'clock. So I was like, okay, well, she ain't responded yet. Let me go get in the shower and just start getting ready. And then by the time I get out the shower, more than likely she would have responded. Hopefully. So, y'all, I go, get in the shower, I pack up my stuff, doing my hair, yada, yada. I come back, my phone is on the charger. I look at my phone, still nothing. So, at this point, I'm like, okay, let me just call her. Call her straight to voicemail. Now, granted, my phone lives on Do Not Disturb. You could call me a million times in a row. My phone is still going to go to voicemail. So, I'm like, all right. So, I text her again. I'm like, hey, girl, I know you're not asleep. You know you got to be here at 11:45. No response. Y'all, at this point, it's 10:30. So I'm like, okay, I've been hitting you up since 9 o'clock. You don't have to be here till 11:45. It's only 15 minutes away. So as long as you hit me up by at least like 11 o'clock, you know, we should be good. So y'all, 10:45 comes, nothing. So Tasha hit me up. She's like, everything cool? I'm like, girl, no. Crazy's not answering. Like, and she's just not responded to me. So she was like, well, that's crazy because she's on Facebook posting. I said, what do you mean she's on Facebook posting? So, y'all, I go to Facebook, and sure enough, Crazy is on Facebook posting like, oh, today's going to be a long day. Oh, value the people in your life while you have them. Posting real weird, random stuff. So, I messaged her, and I was like, hey, not sure if you've seen my calls, plural, or any of my texts, but I wanted to know if you're still going to be... Sorry. I was like, I want to know if you're going to be here at 11:45 to take me to the airport because you know I need to be there by X amount of time to catch my flight at 2. Y'all, no response. So now Tasha calls me. I'm on the phone with Tasha. She's like, I don't know why she acting weird like that. So Tasha goes back to her Facebook. She's blocked. She can't find her. User not found. I go to do the same thing. Blocked. User not found. So I'm like, what? So I screenshotted that. So I'm like, okay, so now I'm hitting her phone, straight to voicemail. And y'all, she didn't have an iPhone. She had an Android, so you couldn't tell if it was, you know, delivered or if she blocked me or yet. But I'm like, if she blocked me on Facebook, I'm pretty sure she blocked me from her phone. So at this point, y'all know the time had approached. It was now like 11:15. So I'm panicking. I called my dad. I'm crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And y'all, I was a crybaby because I know y'all like, girl, it ain't that deep. You could have just got an Uber. I know y'all, but in that moment, I was just frustrated and angry because, girl, no, you didn't. So I called my dad, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, this stupid bitch. She left me stranded. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I got to be at the airport in such and such a time. And she was supposed to take me. She confirmed with me last night. She's literally on Facebook. Tasha saw her on Facebook, and she's literally, daddy, just ignoring me. Like, she's not saying nothing. She got an attitude because something that happened. He's like, well, she got an attitude from Saturday night. I was like, yeah. And now she literally plotted and waited. I was like, the fact that she's online posting and you just ghosted me when you told me that you was going to take me, like, that's crazy. So my dad's like, okay, well, I can get you. He was like, well, I'll just get you an Uber. You know, if anything, if you want, you can just stay another day, and you know, I can get you an Uber for tomorrow. I was like, no, I want to come home. Like, I'm ready to come home. Like, I'm over this. Like, if I ever see that girl, I'm gonna put hands on her. Like, it's up and it's stuck. So he was like, all right, y'all. But at the same time, y'all, I was nervous about getting an Uber because in the back of my mind, it was like by the border, and you never know, you could get an Uber driver that lock them doors and turn them lights down low and put them child lock on, and now I'm across the border in Tijuana somewhere in a damn crate. I don't know. That's where my mind be going. So I was a little nervous. My dad was like, no, you'll be fine. So I'm like, okay. He gets the Uber. Of course, I do my due diligence, match up everything, make sure it's good, y'all. I definitely checked to make sure those child locks was not on. And like before I got in, I was making sure I could open and close the door. Uber driver was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Just gotta make sure. So, and it was like a lady. She was like a white lady or whatever, but I don't trust nobody. So we get on the road. I'm in the car, y'all. I'm hitting her up. She's not responding still. I told Tasha, I was like, I'm good. I'm in the Uber. I'm on my way to the airport. So she's like, okay, cool. As long as you're fine. Y'all, I get to the airport. I call my dad. I let him know. I call my brother. I'm going off on him, going off to him, on him, everything. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, your stupid ass baby mom left me stranded. She was supposed to come, but she's a jealous ass bitch. Like, y'all, I was going off. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, she ain't say that. She said that you wasn't answering her calls. I said, brother, I have no reason to lie to you. Why would I not answer her? And then I had to have daddy get me an Uber. Like, make that make sense. So he was like, oh, that's crazy. I'm gonna talk to her. But my brother, y'all, was so passive because he wanted to still be able to have access to them. So he wasn't trying to stand for me. Like, he wasn't trying to step for me. But it was like, it's cool. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, boom. I get to the airport. Everything is good. I'm fine. Call my dad. Check in. Boom. Y'all, I get on the plane. I head home. And I meet my parents. And I'm ready to... They meet me at baggage claim. Boom. Hugging my parents and stuff. And my mom was like, what happened? I was like, I swear to God, mommy, if I ever see Crazy again in any way, shape, or form, I'm swinging on her immediately. I don't care if that's my nephew's mom. I don't care if that's my brother's baby mom. I don't care if you care about her, you like her. I don't care about none of that. She has an ass whooping waiting for her. Y'all, to this day, she still has an ass whooping waiting for her. So I'm telling them or whatever, y'all, while we get my bag or whatever, we get in the car now, right? Mind you, she had my nephew with her. She didn't have Steph with her. Steph was with his other set of grandparents, but they had Kevin with them, which is Crazy's son. So we get in the car or whatever, and I'm looking at my phone. Y'all, while I go on Facebook, she unblocked me. But we're not friends anymore. So I screenshotted that and I sent it to my brother. I was like, this is when she blocked me earlier. We're not friends anymore. We were just friends on Facebook and she blocked me. So how are we not friends anymore? He was like, oh, she said that you unfriended her and that's why she thought it was weird. And that's probably why she assumed that you just didn't want to. The girl was a Lifetime movie, y'all, just super manipulative. I was like, I don't have no reason to lie. I was like, but if you go on side with her, he's like, I'm not siding with anybody. I said, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So I left it at that. But once everything was said and done, y'all, I got home that next morning. Y'all, when I tell you, I called Crazy and she answered the phone like nothing happened. She was like, oh, hey. She was just acting like everything was cool. So I was like, you are a fake ass, jealous ass, manipulative ass, narcissistic ass bitch. And I wish nothing but the worst for you. And I said, when I see you, Crazy, it's on site. I said, I don't care if it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's on site. She was like, oh, girl, ain't nobody worried about you. You a little ass girl. Ain't nobody. I was like, that's so crazy now that I'm a little ass girl, but you was not saying that when I was in your neck of the woods, mama. I was literally across the country with you, right there. If you was feeling froggy, you been could have did nothing. I was like, you didn't have that energy for Tasha, and you didn't have that energy for me. So, of course, she was trying to talk shit and all this other stuff. So, I was like, I'm cool off that. I told my parents, I was like, don't tell me nothing about her. I don't care nothing about her. I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. Y'all can keep y'all relationship with her. Y'all gonna learn on y'all own too. But I'm cool. So, and I couldn't ask my mom to like cut her off and stuff because she was enjoying, obviously, y'all spending time with my nephew and having a relationship with him after Crazy disappeared on us the first couple of years of his life anyway. So I was gonna ask my mom to do that, but I knew that that girl was dead to me. So y'all, fast forward, why the next day Tasha calls me and we just checking in with each other. We talking about everything. And she got in trouble, y'all. Why she got in trouble? Because remember I told y'all that Crazy was supposed to be taking my niece to daycare. Why she was taking my niece to daycare like 3 hours late? Why was she just not taking her at all some days and stuff? And then some days, like if Tasha was working, she would be in charge of taking her and picking her up. So you're telling her mother that she's at daycare and you're taking her to the daycare. Whole time you were lying. And now Tasha was getting in trouble because my niece was missing too much. And then they told her that she had to pay a certain amount out of pocket. So now she was trying to come after Crazy for the money. Crazy was ducking her. She's trying to pull up. She was like, I'm pulling up to her house. A whole bunch of stuff. Like she just literally destroyed every single thing she touched, right? So y'all, I had to bite the bullet and I reached out to Ginger. And she was like, yeah, how was your trip? Y'all, I had to give Ginger the entire rundown on that trip. And she was like, I told you that girl was crazy. Like, she literally did. And I was like, yeah, but y'all, I was like asking her, I'm like, why didn't you just tell me what she said? So y'all, she finally sends me the screenshots. Why did Crazy manipulate the messages? It was Ginger's number, but she literally adjusted the messages. I'm like, why didn't you just send me this before we would have been in Vegas? She was like, because I didn't like the fact that you questioned me. Like, regardless of anything, like, you should have off the rip been like, girl, I know those messages is a lie. We still going to Vegas. I don't care what she's talking about. She's like, you didn't give me that. So, y'all, I had to apologize. I understood where she was coming from. You know, we squashed it. We didn't end up going to Vegas, but we did end up going to Tampa. So, I was like, okay, cool, later on. But, yeah, y'all, to this day, I have never seen Crazy again since a few years ago. And then it's so crazy because maybe like 2 years, maybe like 2-3 years later, she ended up leaving Arizona and moving all the way to Florida, where, remember I told y'all my nephew's other set of grandparents lived? They ended up moving to Florida. So she ended up moving to Florida, y'all, to go down there and leech off of them. My parents ended up going down there to visit, and they had a terrible time. Y'all, they had a terrible time to the point where they had to put a chair up under the door because they were, like I said, nervous and scared to even sleep with their eyes closed. But that's a story for another day. It's not even my story to tell because I wasn't there and I refused to go because I told y'all it was on site with her. But yeah, y'all, that was she tried to leave me stranded in Arizona. She was a hater. Crazy was crazy. And to this day, I still can't believe my brother had a baby with her. And it is what it is. I love my nephew, but that girl, never. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, repost. I appreciate y'all. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So I'm happy about that. And I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.